This gentleman in South Korea who has now been convicted because he was going to be drafted. In South Korea, everyone has to do military service, right? But he goes, I found a loophole. If I get friggin' fat and can't be in the military, I can't be, then they can't draft me into the military. I can't do my service. So this guy decided to just eat and eat and eat and eat a lot, much like what most of us are going to do tomorrow, to where he got so fat, he got denied his military service, but they investigated and said, wait a minute. This guy used to be super skinny and would have been a great soldier, but he just all of a sudden binged and gorged himself into being too fat for military service.
So did it, obviously it didn't work then.
No, well, he's arrested. And I don't know what his punishment is. I just had the Cliff Notes version of this particular story. But the gentleman is now in jail because they treated him like a draft dodger.
Yeah. We'll starve you back into service.
Right. And I'm wondering if that's going to be what transpires, is if they put him on a strict diet, and not only does he have to spend the time in jail, but when he gets out, he's also going to have to then go into the military.
Right.
Could you do that? Could you gorge yourself that much to get fat just to make sure you weren't going into the military?
Well, I guess the question is, what would be the line that would make someone go, you're too fat to be in the military? I mean, there's always something that somebody can do in the military. You don't have to be running and blowing things up. You can sit behind a desk and fly a drone. You can be fat for that, I think.
Right. Yeah. And so that's this gentleman. Yeah, he just decided, I'm going to binge my way into not having to get in the military.
Yeah.
And so he eventually was detained by the authorities and said, wait a second, this doesn't seem right. Yeah, binge eating. This was a story on CNN. The man who was not publicly identified was sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was ruled out of an active duty in June last year after he weighed 225 pounds with a body mass index classified as obese, 6 years after he was deemed fit to serve following initial physical exam. The defendant consumed high-calorie foods, approximately doubled his meal portions, refrained from physical activity, and drank large amounts of water right before measurements to deliberately increase his weight.
Damn.
Yeah. He expressed his intention to fulfill his military duty sincerely, the ruling said. A friend who encouraged the man to take up his radical eating regime was handed a 6-month prison sentence. So this friend who told him, hey, get fat so you don't have to get in the military, he's going to be in prison for 6 months for helping him out.
And he's probably going to end up in the military anyway.
Yeah, they are.
And really, what danger is South Korea in? I mean, they're not going to go to war with anybody nearby. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not like they have a weird dictator who may bomb the hell out of them at a whim. By the way, this has happened dozens of times. They say they intentionally gain or lose weight, feign mental illness, get full body tattoos, or self-harm to receive an exemption from the military. Yeah. So there you go. You can, if someone's asked, why are you eating so much, be like, I'm dodging South Korean military service. Back off and give me another plate of butter-filled mashed potatoes.
Don't you know the blob can catch you?
Yeah, exactly. I'd see that. I would watch. I would watch Fat Guy versus the Blob in a race. Like Fox, if you remember when they did that when they did that stupid Man versus Wild, where like a guy raced a giraffe. I want to see a fat guy and the Blob do a 50-yard dash.
Yeah, that would be great.
And see who finishes. See who finishes first.
See, that's a good movie. That would be a good movie.
That's a good movie right there. You have a training montage and everything.
That's how you do it. I mean, because now here we are in 2024, almost 2025, and you've got, what is it? It was like 2/3 of America is obese or some crazy number.
Oh yeah.
That would be a genuinely scary thing for people to go, oh my God, I'm too fat to outrun the Blob. That
Very
could work.
true. That should be a new. You know what? Remember the president physical fitness test you have to do in school?
Yes, sir.
Now they just need to call up the Blob and be like, hey, here's what you do, Blob. If you can't outrun the Blob, you fail gym. Yeah. You got to be able to outrun the Blob.
Yeah, that's a movie I would watch.